Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, March 1st, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is as above, so below. I bridge heaven and earth through soul-aligned action. And that's kind of the overall theme of today. So today we have that moon in Aries instigating the cardinal T-square that we've been talking about, increasing the tightening of it, increasing that contraction, squeezing us, getting the juice out of us, moving us forward. And, it's interesting. I'm going to start with a card. I actually have the intensity card in reverse. So the intensity card is like moving fast, moving with that fire. And that moon in Aries, making those connections, may have you in this desire to move. However, we are in Pisces. We still have 6 very strong energies moving in and through Pisces today. And one of the biggest things that we have in Pisces is the Sun and Neptune conjunct in Pisces today. So, divine flow, being in your own movement pattern, whatever that may be. That's the energy. It doesn't have to be, I have to be there now. It has to be, I gotta be aligned and in my flow. And the traffic's moving this way, and I'm gonna get there when I get there. It's kind of the energy. It's very Zen feeling. However, there's an undercurrent of the not Zen, like, is this gonna happen ever already? So, the moon in Aries, squaring Pluto. It is conjunct Uranus, and it is opposite Jupiter. And then it's also going to be conjunct Mars. So we have that as that T-square energy. So Moon in Aries square Pluto. The Pluto energy, still working through Capricorn, is shifting the structure. The Moon in Aries is like, can you just be done yet? Can you be done changing the paradigms of the universe? Can we be done changing these paradigms of the political agendas? Can we just be done with this? And Pluto's like, hey, destruction and rebuilding takes time. So we're in that. But what's your passion? How are you feeding into this? It always comes back to that self-responsibility. Are you your I am vibration? That's where that moon in Aries. Are you being true to yourself? That moon conjunct Uranus helps you liberate. Oh, well, there are places. There's actually a lot of places where I'm not actually walking my talk. There's a lot of places where I'm not taking this action because I don't really believe in myself yet, or I don't know how to do it yet. And so that Uranus, still at 22 degrees, master degree, revolution, evolution, is like, well, let me show you. I'll show you. I'll show you where you need to shift. The shift comes in here. The moon opposite Jupiter. Jupiter, 22 degrees. We're building into that Uranus-Jupiter opposition happening tomorrow. The exact opposition, 22 degrees, master degree. So when Uranus is like, hey, I'll show you what it got to do. That moon connecting to Jupiter is like, oh, this is what you've got to do. It's the self-love work. It always comes back to the self-love. Are you really working on yourself? Are you really paying attention to your I am? Or are you still trying to fill up yourself with everything outside of yourself? Everything outside of yourself, like relationships, food, beverage, addictions, busyness, Facebook, internet, watching gurus, whatever this thing may be. Or are you actually saying like, oh, I need to spend some time. I need to spend some time with myself. I need to get quiet. I need to get silent with myself to remember who I am. This is the call in this action. This is part of this soul flow energy. The moon conjunct Mars, again, gets into that energy. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Moon conjunct Mars, anytime this happens, can have a temper tantrum feel to it because the moon inspires that emotional energy, and then Mars can inspire either passion, like, yeah, I'm so into this thing and I love this thing, or, oh my God, I'm so into this thing and I can't have this thing. So it kind of going to depend where you're at. That was a scene from my Leo moon right there. It's going to depend on how you're feeling about this thing, and you get to decide how you're going to feel. Recognizing you're still growing into the ripening of this thing will support you in continuing moving into that passion. But if you're like, I want to eat the fruit right now, but every time I try to bite in it, it's too hard to even bite, you're going to feel the frustration. So again, it feeds back into, okay, So this thing may be trying to fill a hole that's coming up in me right now. I'm feeling some of this emptiness. What do I need to do for myself in this place instead of filling the hole? Now, what's so interesting to me, hair stick to my face, is that we have the Sun conjunct Neptune. And this is a really interesting energy, 11 degrees, master level degree, bringing in that Zen. Master One Feather, a long time ago, said that this connection, this conjunction, is the energy of Make-A-Wish. This is a miraculous energy, especially at 11 degrees. 11 degrees, master number, like miracles, hello, absolutely. But what I'm getting with this, which is part of, bridging these energies, which is part of bringing forth that which you want into manifestation, the ripening process, is recognizing you've got to be in your soul flow. You've got to be able to set those intentions, plant those seeds, and then be in the soul flow. You've got to do the work. You've got to do the work in your garden. So some of this work in your garden is going into those places where, there's a gopher hole, and yet you're stuffing food down the gopher hole instead of acknowledging, maybe I don't really want gophers in my garden. I got to talk to these gophers that are causing these holes in the garden. This is how Mimi handles gophers. I talk to the gophers. My mom doesn't like that. It doesn't work according to her, but I say it does. I don't have gophers in my garden. She just has gophers in her garden. Anyways, what I want to say with this is there's a lot of emphasis on the mystical, on the law of attraction. And I love the law of attraction. I love Abraham. But sometimes we get a little confused. You're like, I'm going to set my intention, and I'm going to sit back and let it be. And that's great. Sit back. Do let it be. But it is about taking that aligned soul action. And so this is healing the part of you that needs to take that aligned soul action, that needs to take that next step. Now, some things, that's the way it happens. You sit back and let it be. And that's beautiful. And that does happen. That is a thing. But there's also knowing the difference. So, for instance, my ex-boyfriend used to say, you don't get a baby when you just say that you want a baby. You have to go through the act to get a baby. And so this is kind of that energy. Okay, you want a baby. You want to plant those seeds. You want to, you want to grow this thing. You want to manifest this thing. Are you taking the steps? And are you taking it in right order? Because, you hear about those couples who want to have a baby and then they're so obsessed with it that it's too much. They're not in aligned action. And then there's the people who want to have a baby and yet they're not doing anything about it. I'm not going to say that either is right or wrong or good or bad because who knows what anybody's soul path is. You can't tell somebody what their soul path is. But are you in aligned action with this? As above, so below. I bridge heaven and earth through soul-aligned action. So this energy between this moon in Aries, which wants to take the action, and then through all this Pisces, which is like, get aligned, get into your flow, we're being asked to find your individual balance. So Abraham will say, get into that place, get in line with it, get into that feeling good place, and then from that inspired place, take that action. And that's what I'm really feeling through this miraculous energy. Get into that place where you're like, yeah, I'm growing a garden. I should go out and till the soil. Tilling the soil. Oh my gosh, it would feel so good to get my hands in dirt. That's the place that you want to be in to take that action, to move. It's not, I have to plant a garden right now and I'm going to put my beets in because I want to eat beets tomorrow. You can be as hopeful and say as many affirmations. I'm going to really enjoy my beets that I'm going to eat tomorrow. And yet, when you look at that garden, chances are, unless somebody comes in and, if you watch Fuller House, magically plants beets in your garden, the seed doesn't generally, in 99.9% of the cases, grow overnight into a beet. I always leave space for miracles. But that's not how this works. But it's like, okay, beets, I think I'm going to want to grow beets. Okay, I'm going to till the soil. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to put in right action. I'm going to participate in this. This is how this energy, I feel, is asking us to work. And sometimes that work is going in and filling in the gopher holes, recognizing what the gophers, where the potholes, where the things that pull the rug out from underneath you are coming in from within you. And this is part of this Jupiter-Uranus energy that's tug-of-warring, that's asking you to liberate who you are through finding a place, finding mastery in your self-love, by digging into yourself. Anything else is looking for love in all the wrong places. Any of those holes is looking for love in all the wrong places. This is where love is, and it's all the love of the universe for you if you're willing to show up for yourself in that. So, that being said, speaking of doing the work, speaking of tilling the soil, we also have the moon moving into Taurus. So that moon into Taurus is that grounded energy, that grounded dirt, which is going to help us ripen into this place. What we want is not quite here yet. And this is kind of the way the universe works. We want a thing, and the thing doesn't happen, and it keeps dangling this carrot in front of us, or the beets, because everything's the beets right now. So it's not quite here yet, but don't give up. Keep tilling the soil. Keep doing the work on this. And that moon, one of the things that's really supporting it before it moves into Taurus, moon's meeting up with Saturn. Saturn is at 26 degrees in Sagittarius. How are you showing up? How are you showing up with your beliefs? Do you believe that you can have this thing? Your beliefs are an important part of tilling the soil, of getting this thing. Anyways, this card basically says, I'm so into these cards right now, these inner child fairy tale cards. In your life, new ideas are seeding themselves. Prepare your life for the fruits that you will bear. Oh my God, for the fruits that you will bear. Plant your creativity and watch it grow, and be willing to do the work. Be willing to get into the soil. Get willing to, be in yourself where you're planting these seeds within you. Whether this is something that you're actually growing outside of you and actually planting a garden, or if this is something within you, get in there, till the soil, do what it works. Final thing I want to mention, Venus has moved by the end of today to 13 degrees. 13 degrees is where it's going retrograde. Of course, at a evolution degree. There's so much evolution around your work. And I have to just say, from talking to tons of people every day, there's nobody that I've talked to ever that doesn't have something to do with their self-worth, self-esteem energy. There's so much within us to go. So, don't be like, oh, I'm good. People love me. Well, what if suddenly the people didn't love you? How would you feel? Is that one of the things that you're filling those holes? And to be fair, you can have great self-worth and still be like, where'd the people go? That can still be a thing. But just be willing to look there, because it's coming up so much right now in the astro. It's really time to address this on a global level. So that is it for today. I want to finish with a little Rumi. Love is a bridge between you and everything. Love is a bridge between you and these seeds, the growth of these seeds that you're planting. So when all else fails, add a little love. When all else fails in your garden, you've got the sunlight, you've got the water, you've got the good nutrient-rich soil. Talk to your plants, add a little love, because that sometimes makes all the difference. Book a reading if you want to dive in deeper, and I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.